On part 2, after death do us part.
This is the question. I think this is it. This is the me question here. So afterwards, dating, yes, no, and how, if so, or if not now, when do you think that would be?
Oh God.
You look cute.
Like, I'm gonna give her 6 months.
That one right there. Yeah.
I can go first.
Well, we gonna let you. I'm gonna do my rerouting though.
I've been dealt this hand, so I have decided to be obedient, which makes life a lot easier.
Okay.
It's when we follow his will, our life becomes quite easy, right?
It does. It does. It's not like you're not as tired from running, right?
Yeah.
So definitely have used this platform to the glory of God, because it is unfortunate. Let's be clear, it's unfortunate. But since it has happened, I'm not the first and I'm not the last. And so God has spoken on various projects. Of course, God gave me this pamphlet to write on stages of grief from my experience as a result of a blog that I created. I've been blogging. Blogging is therapy. It is therapeutic because I'm able to speak to different situations that happen in my life. It's not all about me being a widow. It's about a lot of different things. You guys have to check it out if you haven't read it. Just a whole lot of different things. But as a result of my blog, Sister Natalie, who is over the greeters ministry at church, she sent my blog to another widow, and she connected me to this young woman. So I was speaking with this young woman one day in Panera, and I could hear God clearly saying to me to I could hear him clearly telling me to put the stages of grief from my perspective in a written format. And that was because she had never heard of the stages of grief before. And so from that point, I did just kind of jot some things down. And of course, God has already delivered on that. And then the other piece is my husband's foundation. So the legacy of Cleo, it lives on through the foundation that God gave me in 2018, but I wasn't in a mental space to unfold that because I still was kind of going in and out of denial and acceptance and withdrawal, and just, I was all over the place in my emotions, and I couldn't really pour from an empty cup. So definitely just trying to just staying connected. I was still going to church. The Lord was just filling me with his word on a regular basis, but I couldn't muster up like my own strength, right? I know it's Jesus that was my strength, but I couldn't muster up that strength to move. I wanted to move because that's me, right? But I couldn't. I'm like, okay, God, I got it. I'm gonna do it. So September 3rd, 2020, is when I launched the foundation, but it was all God, because it was like 4 days when he said, it's time to move. And so we crowdfunded on Cleo's, what would have been his 38th birthday, raised over $11,000 for scholarships for young men who will receive these awards in May. 4 will go to 4 young men from Whitehaven High, which is where he graduated from. 1 will go to a young man from Brown Baptist, which is where he attended service. Of course, the community involvement component is when we see a need, we meet the need. And then we have a Mentorship Matters program where those young men who are filtered through the scholarship program will be mentored by 8 men over Zoom per COVID guidelines. And just kind of coaching them. It's non-traditional because Cleo did not matriculate to college. Some brothers will end up building a business. Some will go off to a trade school, and so that's one of the qualifications. And so those are 3 of the ways that we're leaving a legacy. My girls do help me within the foundation. Believe it or not, they give me their ideas. They talk about Dad a lot. A lot of times it's because their emotions are triggered, though, because I am the bad guy in my house. They don't really see me as the good guy.
No way.
I can't catch a break because it's tough, man. It's tough to that point of parenting, because there is no one to bounce the ball to, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
The ball is always in my court. And so I have to have courageous conversations, particularly with the one that acts just like her mama. So I'm thankful for soror, one in particular, Janelle, and I'm thankful for my mom who, again, I just pick up the phone and call so that, Chance can receive the love that she needs, since I'm not always the good guy. So, but we do, like I said, we do talk about that a lot, but a lot of times nowadays it's triggered just from, emotional things when you can't have your way. And oh, I just miss my dad so much. Me too. Oh, me too.
Like, if you only knew, like, if you only knew.
You're broke anyway. You don't buy groceries. You don't pay rent.
Hey,
Get in line.
miss him too. Like, I'm gonna tell him about you. Matter of fact, me and your daddy gonna have a conversation tonight, okay?
About you.
About you.
But you not contributing here. Why you
Right.
Who you miss? Don't try me. Try your mama.
Try your mama.
Kids get out there and get you riled up. You got me.
Ooh, they will play.
In here now.
They will play on those feelings, but to all of you all out there who are listening and experiencing this in parenthood, that children, I get it. They are emotional beings just like we are.
Yeah.
And they will play that card. Don't get me wrong. I know you miss dad. I know you miss mom, but here's what we still gonna do. This is what we gotta do.
Yeah.
Because you can't use that as a scapegoat.
Yeah.
You can't use that as an excuse. But we're gonna talk about it. I always acknowledge it. So let's be clear. I always acknowledge their feelings, and we do slow down and we sit and we talk about what you're feeling. And then from that point, do you want to pray? Do you have any prayer requests? Do you need to call anybody else? Because maybe you're not hearing me. And if they don't, okay, let's move from this point and let's get to what we're supposed to get to. So it takes a lot of patience. It does take a lot of patience, prayer, and praise.
All the peace. All the
Yes,
peace.
God.
And if you need to get a pill, it's okay too. If you need a pill, let me go ahead and put it out there. It is okay too.
It's a cycle of just going.
Yes.
Hey kids, I'm trying to make it too. Now I don't think so. Yeah. So I think that's
Correct. Like I miss them too. Okay.
what do you think? What do you think? All right. Fast forward now. Get ready to close out here.
Let's talk about life after.
Yes.
So now you both,
Wah.
So I was talking to Rekeshia. This is at one of your daughter's birthday.
Riley's birthday.
Right. Riley's birthday. We're kind of talking about this, and this is something that I've heard from other people too in this situation of like, okay, you know what, dating after.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Now you knew it would be
you knew this question comes. I get this is from people too. I can't answer the question. You guys, because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. So have you thought about it? Have you started? What are your thoughts there? And then the part B to this is this is something that Rekeshia and I talk about, is how would you manage in terms of like pictures, things at home, if it ever got to a point that, somebody's coming back home, do you feel like you need to change up anything, or do you think they should be understandable? And this is the question. I think this is it. This is the me question here. So afterwards, dating, yes, no, and how, if so, or if not now, when do you think that would be?
Yeah. And let me preface this way, and I would say this: everybody is different, because I told Jeff and I had this conversation before. I never forget when I was growing up that this one guy, his wife passed, and like 6 months later, he started dating. I've seen it where it's taken people years. I've seen it where a lady has waited 6 months to, you know what I'm saying? So it's different for everybody. So let me preface this. So there's no wrong answer to this.
So no
judgment.
Don't nobody, don't comfort
No
you
judgment.
ain't in the situation.
Ain't got no boyfriend.
We just want to hear from you guys, your person.
Everybody is different.
Everybody is different. So I just want to put that out there. So
Somebody listening right now said, I'm getting at the repass. They didn't like the person no more. Y'all like the person.
Stupid. So stupid. Oh God.
You look cute.
Like, I'm gonna give her 6 months.
That one right there. Yeah.
You passed the green beans and corn right there. Look how cute.
He said real tips and rice. Oh, I got you.
Oh, you can do that? Look at you. You better put your teeth back in your mouth.
I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, so
there's no
judgment at all. Anybody that can say they can judge need to put their teeth back in their mouth too. Come for me. I got it. Yeah.
Right.
So, okay.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Okay,
You go
George,
first.
you wanna go first or
I can go first.
Well, we gonna let you. I'm gonna do my Rick Router though.
I'm leaning on the side. I'm leaning on the side.
That's it.
Okay.
This is. So why y'all are getting your thought? I just hear this that many times I know, just like you said, that of just like losing somebody doesn't just create you as a monk for the rest of your life. Like you don't just go through your life just like, you know what?
Yeah, because my thing is, you guys are. I guess what I'm trying. You guys are both young, right?
Yeah.
Like you're both young. So like which you both are young, so a lot of times I wouldn't expect I wouldn't expect for you guys to be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go in my little isolated house now and not gonna date again and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the questions. Like I said, I've heard experience from both sides. I've experienced, I've seen it all. So that's why I think that it's so important for people to talk about like the dating aspect and the challenges that come with that, especially with kids and all of that. So
and then conversation.
Okay. So to that point, I am interested in dating.
All right.
Have I dated officially? In my opinion, absolutely not. We can talk about that off of the air. It's just too much information. I don't want to be judged. So anyway,
safe place. Laugh Learn Little podcast.
It's a safe place before the airing. And but I will say that the first couple years I was not mentally in that space. I have too as well, Dana, seen people who have married 3, 6, 9 months, and I'm excited for them. I just wasn't in a space to accept. I was trying to navigate myself, trying to figure out where I was going to go from that point. How was I going to move in that space? So I wasn't any good for myself. I wasn't any good for anybody else. I'm so thankful that I have gotten wiser, and I can see clearly, I can hear clearly, and I know who and what I want. I am ready for love. I am definitely have a lot of love to give. I don't know what the Lord is doing, and I wish he would hurry up. And so, yes, I do understand that I have children. He needs to have them as well.
Okay.
Because we're not having them together.
Okay.
We're not doing that. But at first, I frowned upon blended families. I did. But that was a conversation that I honestly had a heart-to-heart with God about, because I originally wanted to have 4 children. So I do look at the opportunity to remarry as a blessing, to have a blended family and to have more children. So while that was something initially didn't cross my mind, it's something that I think about. But I'm so thankful that for the word that went forth not too long ago. I've been affirming I'm not impatient. I'm not impulsive. God's timing, it protects and it promotes me. And so I am walking in that space. I don't know how long the Lord wants me to be 36 and walk in this space of holiness and righteousness.
Wait a minute. Wait, Lord, she is putting it out there for you.
But-
Putting it in the atmosphere for you.
I'm
Okay?
just saying.
You have
I'm
not
just
because you
saying.
asked not. She said, that's not going to be the scripture for me. You can keep going. You can keep
I'm
going.
just saying.
Cover the rest of
I'm
it.
just saying. So
The truth. Appreciate the truth right there. That helps
Yes.
somebody. That helps somebody. That's real.
Yeah.
Trying to get through. 'Cause some people feel guilty of wanting to date again. So thank you for being honest there. Of like, you don't have to feel guilt of, I don't know what my family going to say, or that person's family or whatever. Like, you do what's best for you in that.
and I did feel that way initially. Of course, there were a lot of things going on in my mind, what people would say, particularly my husband's family. But I'll never forget my husband's aunt. She called me, which I love her with everything inside of me. Even prior to him passing away, we were very close. And she said, I do want you to understand that there is an expectation for you to live again and to date again, no matter what anybody else says.
Family, salute. Salute.
Yes, that freed me though. It really
Yes.
freed me because
Yes.
she's a very credible person
Yeah.
in the family. And so not that I needed the permission, but it helped a lot. And then my father-in-law and of course Cleo's stepmom, we had a conversation about that last year. And of course they said, of course, whoever he is, whenever he comes, he's welcome here. So that helped as well. That really did help. So he's not here though. The problem is
Invite him to the fish fry.
but I'm thankful to know that, because my kids, will be around this person and definitely want my family, which is my husband's family, because they're still my family, to accept this person. So
Yes. Salute to the family. That's how family should be.
Yes.
And they were proactive to say that. Y'all see that? They were proactive to come to her, not waiting for her. Like, I know. Now somebody done told me she talking to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't talk. They came to you like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Let's just kind of clear the air. Charles, you get a chance to. We come to you. Charles behind the glasses. Charles, have you thought about dating? Have you started dating? What are your thoughts? Same question Rekeshia just jumped into there.
She said it so eloquently. Let me tell you this right here. Let me tell you. So it took me about a year to fully, start. And the biggest question that when you're going through something is, do you think you're ready?
Yes.
And as that person, if I'm putting myself out here, it's not because I'm not trying to rush, or you don't want to give anybody the impression that you're just trying to use them as a crutch.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is, I understand that the person who I was with was my chapter, but now I'm looking for a new chapter. And you gotta stay prayed up and you gotta stay vigilant because it's some tricksters.
Mm-hmm.
very true.
They ain't got no it, them it, all right.
They look.
You know what I'm saying? Them baby hairs be penciled in right there.
You gotta look. They'll try to watch out now.
Well,
Dinah and we got edges down with Dinah.
got that good, baby. I see you got that coconut oil on.
I got some edges now.
Ain't impressed.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, okay.
If you're listening,
Okay.
Rekeshia just zoomed in on the edges she has.
That's
She
some
took the
edges.
glasses off.
She just zoomed in. You need to go to YouTube right now. So you
Just saying. Y'all play too much.
pause the audio and go to YouTube.
Woo.
Here's what happened.
Got edges now. I got plenty of hair.
There you go.
Hair ain't no problem.
So that is free. Okay, good. Okay, cool. Last question for you guys, and we'll get ready to close out here, is if you could give like just any short advice, just any nugget for somebody who maybe going through something of this nature, or some people lose people, through different things. What's one last nugget you would leave with them? Just off. I know that's a huge question.
So it is, but I'll say this, and this is what my aunt shared with me, and she reminds me this. She reminds me of this even when I'm kind of dodging my feelings, even now. You got to feel the burn. You cannot run from what you feel because you will explode. The magnitude of your grief indicates the magnitude of the love that you had for that person. And so it is expected for you to hurt. It's expected for you to have unexpected outbursts and things of that sort. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not crazy. You're not delirious. You're not deranged. It's a part of the grieving process. So if you're unfamiliar with those stages that Jeff mentioned, you can Google the stages of grief. So feel what you need to feel so that you can properly heal. And once you've gotten to a space where you are healing in a healthy manner, you have to do the work. You have got to make a decision. Although I am in this space, it hurts, it doesn't feel good, but you have to decide, I'm getting up from here today. Listen, I am 36 years old. By the way, I am young, okay? And so it got to a point where I had to decide, time is just passing by. It's passing by. And you've already said he ain't coming back. And I always joke with Cleo and say, and by now he have a girlfriend.
You know what? Because let me tell you something. Because I got this side note. I had this great conversation with Jeff. I said, let me tell you something. I said, that's the reason why. Look, and my will and everything. I was like, so the kids can't get it until a certain time. He was like, why? I was like, because I know other woman gonna be coming in here, moving in here after 6 months. And I was come back to everybody.
Ghost mom.
I was like, you gonna be a ghost mom? I was like, yes. I was like,
yes.
We don't have nobody up here 6 months. So yes, I told her, I said, I feel like sometimes that men move on faster than ladies. And he was like, that's
So,
yes.
That's a different, another conversation.
Oh, that's good. That's a good.
Call me later.
Yeah, conversation. Tell me like. So the thing is, I can't look at nobody at the repast. You gonna hunt down.
Okay, so let me tell you something. If something should happen to me, look, let me put it on the
Catch your
podcast.
back.
Y'all better be. All my bills need to be at the repast block. Okay.
Got your back. I got you. I'm a greeter. Remember, I'm a greeter at church anyway, Dana. I'm a greeter, remember.
Delete that. Nah. Yeah. So.
I have on my greeter badge.
We had that conversation before. Like, hey, what does it look like? Like, hey, cool. She was like, or are there people you saying, this list of people you cannot date? Here a list of folks that
off limits.
Off limit. This is my off limit list. This is my off limit list. Because you know, some jokers will be like, man, Joe was a good dude, man. You mind if I bring some chicken? Some house or something, y'all look hungry, so y'all need a little change. I'll be good. We don't need no chicken. We don't need no change. We don't need nothing here. I'm gonna be ghosted. I'll be in the car. So yeah, okay, cool. And so
oh God.
Todd, you want to say anything to that part, or you good?
I think the biggest thing for me was just to breathe. Take time out and breathe. You know, like I said, everybody grieves differently, and it's going to take you a while to get over it. It could take you 6 months. It could take you a year, but you're going to grieve in your own time. The biggest thing with me was reading the Bible, finding understanding, and then there was one Bible verse, which was Philippians 4:13. I live with that verse religiously. You know, I can do all things. So don't think that just because you're in this situation, and that's what it is. It's a situation. It's situational for you, but you will get past it. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some prayer. It's going to take some understanding, but you will get past it. Just look for the signs, because they say all things happen for a reason. You don't know what the reason is, but eventually you will find what that reasoning is. Like Miss Rekeshia, it could be for her foundation. You never know what it could be. You just look for that blessing and then embrace it once it comes.
That was good. Oh, that was good. That was good. So, like we said, we like to laugh, learn, and love each time. A love challenge for anybody today is if you're married, if you're dating somebody, if you're by yourself and you can't look at yourself, is to ask, like, what is one thing you would miss the most about me? So asking your spouse, because a lot of folks right now have hit us up over little things like, man, this person don't clean up. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get up out of here. And you have two strong people who are here who gave a testimony, who given a lot to that place. And so now, you know, like little things don't really matter in the sense of those things. Like those things don't really make a difference. But when you're just focused on those little things, it can be bigger things when you make them. And so I think asking that question, like, what's one thing you miss the most about me? So Dana, what's one thing you miss the most about me?
Of course, your sense of humor. That's and the fact that you love making other people laugh just as much. You know, you love that. Like that's really one thing. Yeah. And you help with the kids. Yeah, I would definitely.
I'll be raising these kids out here, you know.
So Jackson Academy.
That beer game.
We help.
So okay, cool. I would miss your companionship. I think just have somebody to roll with.
To roll with. Yeah.
I mean, life. Life.
Oh, yeah.
Life. Yeah.
I miss the game.
What did he say? He missed the what? Yes, yeah. I'm with my bro. Listen.
I keep it all the way 100. Some people don't rock with me now. And that's because I keep it all the way 100. Because they're rocking at 48, 37.
I don't know no other way.
There you go. That's what I do. So I would miss that. I'm just being honest. I would miss that.
She got on an orange. Look, she got on a yam color shirt right now.
Yeah, that's what God made him for. Church folks, they be ready to clutch their pearl when they talk to me. Oh, you better unloose them pearl.
Listen. Listen to me. On this side of glory.
Just want to thank you, Rekeshia. Appreciate that.
I
Somebody
eat all day.
Somebody to hear that.
I eat and go walking. And then when I get done walking, y'all know what I had on my front seat when I got done walking to Chef Farm last week. And apple fritters. I said, Lord, help me here.
Look, so see? You got to eat the calories that you just walk.
Because I'm trying to stay righteous.
You're versed at that. So okay. So all right. Salute you guys one more time. Salute to Rekeshia Charles.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Like we pray that this helps so many people. Just continue to share the legacy and continue to share your stories with so many people. So again, we appreciate you. This is gonna have to be a 2-part series because it was just so much good information. This one try to keep it like 30 minutes, but it was just so much information. Like because especially now during COVID, like I told Jeff, like in January we had 29 funerals alone at Brown. Wow. 29 funerals. And so you're talking about yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying. So it's kind of like this is unfortunately it's people are experiencing every single day. I'm not talking about, they 90 years old. Now we had a funeral the other day. We was like, that's a blessing to be 90 now. We're talking about like 30 something, teenagers. So unfortunately, we understand death is inevitable. So I'm so grateful for you guys sharing your testimony. So to help people when that time does come, hopefully a long time from now, but when it does come, it will help them experience and just to let them know that hey, you're not in this alone.
Right. That's right.
Good. Yep.
Yeah. So Dana,
that's right.
I wouldn't dare let her experience that money, from the insurance. Like, so, not gonna be eating no crab legs with ever on my account. No.
Oh, God.
Crab legs on my time. Raymond Noodles is what now.
A hot disaster.
So ending with the Mr. Month. Oh no, before anything that you guys contact you guys or
Please, you want to put out your foundation and all of that stuff so people know.
Of course, I would love to do that. So my foundation in memory of my husband is the Cleo T. Hudson Jr. Memorial Foundation. You can like us on Facebook. Of course, my website is going to go live within the next few days, but at this moment, you can go out there and like us on Facebook.
Okay. All right, Charles, you want them, just in case. All right, young lady, like, I like the way your spirit is looking.
Hey, let me glisten it. Let me glisten before I say it. Let me glisten it. Yes, I have my.
DM like, you know what? Let me listen. The Lord is pressing my finger to slide into his DM. So,
And it's single, so I can text you at any time. Whatever time you want me to message you, girl. 9:59, I can message you. You get a message. Yes, my IG is Two Broke Best Friends. Of course, you know why. And I got my good government name, so you know I got no warrants, girl. I got no warrants.
It's the number 2, right? So the number 2 broke friends.
The number 2, broke best friends on IG, and Facebook is Charles E. Ray III.
Charles E. Ray.
Government name. Yep. The third government name. So
whole government name.
We got passports, girl. We fly. We ain't taking no buses. We fly.
You want to get all those ladies who got lost in Atlanta, who got the one way down? Don't listen. You flew out.
Flew out.
Could have hopped up in the face, girl. I could have got you.
We ain't talking about no combination of COVID and no flu either.
Neither one of them. So, okay, cool. So every episode, all right, somebody may have been talking about this, like, girl, don't talk to me about no death. You don't talk about this. And so you can have the conversation. It's good to have those conversations. You don't want it, but it's better to have it first. You may have family members too. It may not be your spouse, maybe family members too, maybe your mom, maybe anybody that you can talk to as well. So we always end with the Mr. Mantras, whether you argue through this episode, whether you half angry, you had those things, we always look at each other and say these 3 things. I like you. I love you, and I want to. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can feel her eyes. She's like, don't get no. I can feel her eyes.
Like it.
Sugar this time. I know to get some sugar this time. But
I'll give you on the cheek, baby.
My sis. That's about your dad.
What is this? Who is this? See what I'm saying?
You, bro.
Okay.
She's so shy.
There you go.
Oh, sissy.
The Lord is not pleased. So y'all send a mess to her.
So funny.
She hear from y'all. She won't hear from me. You crazy. She hear from y'all. All right. So
our video, let me tell you.
That's what you need to be doing. Don't be angry. Girl, go cut this sugar off. And paying for it. The ring here. Still got it.
So
I'm on 15 years later. I still got 19 more payments left in the
It's time for an upgrade. Refinance.
So yeah, appreciate you guys. You can subscribe. If you're listening right now, tell somebody else about this. You never know who could be going through this. You can follow us on Instagram at mr.mrs.mistr. That's Mr. Mrs. Mr. on Instagram and YouTube or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those other things too. Platform. Let somebody know. All right, great conversation like that. Great people. You don't know. So one more time.
Yes,
Thank you
Thank you for having us. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all. All right, we love you guys. Love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
Yes.
Subscribe. Love podcast, Mr. and Mrs. Mister. You want to sing us out real quick?
Okay.
One. I don't know if y'all know the song. We've been this second season. We've been struggling. We were off a little time. Now we got
because he changed the word.
I changed the wording because it just fit with this. Y'all can't see it. Okay, come on. 1, 2, 3. Come on.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
With Mr. and Mrs. Mister.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
With Mr. and Mrs. Mister.
And that's our show.
Thank y'all. Go follow these too, man. Love y'all.
Thank y'all so much.
Subscribe. New episodes every Tuesday of the Laugh, Learn, Love podcast with Mr. and Mrs. Mister.